ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Tonight, we know San Diego County restaurants will have to keep their dining rooms and patios closed. A state appeals court has extended a temporary hold, keeping restaurants and live entertainment venues from serving people on site.
Restaurants were briefly given the green light to open last week before this appeals court stepped in and issued this stay order. A hearing on the stay order has been scheduled for mid-January. That means that if ICU capacity in Southern California does not rise above 15%, that would be the earliest that restaurants could serve people again on site.
If today's developments are any indication, mid-January or later may be an accurate timeline. The county announced its single deadliest day during the pandemic yet, and the governor said the state will open up a federal medical station at Palomar Medical Center in Escondido. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains how many beds will be made available and who they're for.
The federal medical station was set up back in April, but we never needed it, not even during the summer surge. But as Governor Gavin Newsom announced, that has changed.
We are bringing a fifth alternative care site out of warm status. We're standing up that site, an FMS site down in San Diego.
Governor Gavin Newsom is talking about this federal medical station set up on the 10th and 11th floors of Palomar Medical Center in Escondido. There are currently 202 beds that could help with overflow patients from hospitals across the county as they deal with a surge in hospitalized COVID-19 patients. There are 4 other sites like this activated in the state.
Porterville and Fairview down in Imperial, and of course the Sleep Train Arena up in Sacramento.
While Palomar Health did not comment on the governor's announcement Wednesday, a few weeks ago we did hear from the chief medical officer, Dr. Omar Khawaja. At the time, he said plans for the federal medical station were still being worked out with hospital systems in the county, including how the beds would be staffed. But what he did know is that the 202 beds would not be used for ICU patients.
It is not set up for high acuity patients, though, so it's not going to give us, 200 ICU beds, but it could be beds that we would be able to offload some of the less sick patients from other systems into there so that they could handle the sicker patients.
Right now in the Southern California region, ICU capacity sits at 0%. While we still do have some ICU beds here in San Diego County, the big problem hospitals are facing is making sure there's enough staff to care for all patients.
And right now in San Diego County, we have 24 staffed ICU beds available. That's out of about 670 ICU beds. 24 left today. Now, patients are coming in and out every day. Those numbers change. But that indicates to me, and I think that others in the healthcare system, that we have a little bit of a dilemma on our hands.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And here are the latest coronavirus numbers in San Diego County. More than 2,500 new cases were reported, bringing the total to well over 134,000. As we mentioned earlier, it's the single deadliest day in San Diego. 39 people died. More than 1,300 San Diegans have lost their lives from the virus since the pandemic began.
And nationwide, more than 3,300 Americans died from COVID-19 in just the past 24 hours. Tonight, doctors fear the number of deaths, cases, and hospitalizations will skyrocket even more after Christmas. And financial help from the government for millions of struggling Americans is on hold. President Trump flew to Florida this afternoon after refusing to sign the emergency relief bill. He's demanding, among other things, that Congress boost the amount of the individual stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000.
A group of community leaders hosted a virtual town hall tonight to answer questions and boost confidence in the COVID-19 vaccine in the Black community.
All of the vaccine that is approved by FDA is safe and effective, and you will know the effectiveness once it's approved.
The People's Alliance teamed up with County Health Officer Dr. Wilma Wooten this evening to answer questions and address concerns. Both Moderna's and Pfizer's vaccine are more than 90% effective, but many raised concerns given the unethical experimentation done on the Black community during the Tuskegee study. Dr. Wooten assured the community that the vaccine is effective in its prevention of COVID-19.
Well, the winds are picking up tonight, and a lot of the county is under a red flag warning. It'll stay in effect through tomorrow afternoon. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking our conditions tonight. Angelica.
That's right, very windy. Some of the wind reports so far ranging from 50 to over 60 miles per hour, even 70 miles per hour. So very powerful winds already tonight. The good news is that by morning conditions will start to improve, but overnight it is still a concern. And even right now you can see those areas like Alpine, Ramona, and Julian are still quite windy with winds ranging from 20 to almost 60 miles per hour at this hour. And keep in mind the winds have been that strong since around 4 o'clock since around 5 rather this afternoon. So it's been an ongoing setup with those very strong winds. And because of the Santa Ana winds, it is also very dry. Relative humidity down in the single digits in Alpine. Given the conditions, this creates critical fire danger. So in the case of a fire, it would spread very quickly. That is why a red flag warning will remain in effect until noon tomorrow. We'll have to be cautious overnight and wait until it all settles down. But there's also some good news in the forecast. A chance for rain. We'll have more on your 7-day forecast.
Angelica, thanks. And because of that wind she just talked about, more than 1,000 families are without power tonight. SDG&E shut off electricity to more than 1,100 customers, and thousands more are on standby. This is all because of those strong winds ripping through parts of the county, and that, of course, increases the risk of wildfires. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Purra spoke with an East County family whose only light right now is coming from their Christmas tree.
I spoke with a mother in East County. She says her family is doing okay without power, but adds the timing of it so close to Christmas is just frustrating.
The whole house to the kitchen.
Leah Sio's home in Descanso is in the dark after SDG&E shut off their power Wednesday afternoon.
I have a 5-month-old, a 6-year-old, and a 5-year-old, so it's very complicated, but right now I'm using my Christmas tree to light up the house in the living room.
They have a small generator powering the tree. They also have some lanterns for light. SDG&E has warned more than 31,000 customers they could be impacted by potential public safety power shutoffs. The orange parts in this map are areas at risk of losing power. The red spots are areas that have already had it shut off. Strong Santa Ana winds in parts of the county increase the risk of a fire growing quickly should something spark. It's triggered a red flag warning through noon Thursday.
We're still staffed up just like we were in the middle of summer.
CAL FIRE says they have crews ready to move quickly should something flare up, saying dry conditions are an added concern.
A lot of times we see Santa Ana's going through December, and that part's nothing new for us. The struggle this time is that we have the Santa Ana conditions and we still have the fuels that are incredibly dry.
As for Leah's family, they just hope they'll have their power back on by Christmas Eve.
If they don't get the power back on by tomorrow, then we'll be wrapping in the dark. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll survive, but it's a bummer.
Anthony Purra, ABC 10 News.
And there have already been 4 public safety power shutoffs by SDG&E so far this year. You can follow any changes in the forecast and stay one step ahead of these power shutoffs with the ABC 10 News app. You can find it for free in the App Store.
Prosecutors want the court to consider trying a Carlsbad teen accused of murder as an adult. 17-year-old Haloa Bodette is accused of stabbing Lisa Thorberg to death on a Carlsbad hiking trail in November. Detectives say the teen's DNA was found on Thorberg. His attorneys say Bodette sometimes leaves his sandals behind and that Thorberg may have picked them up, which is how his DNA got on her. We talked with the suspect's grandmother, who says she spoke with him yesterday and maintains his innocence.
You and Papa don't worry. Tell everyone in the family that I'll be okay and I'll be home soon. He would not have done this. It's like stabbing me in the neck.
The teen's attorneys said no weapons were found on him and he had no injuries or signs of a struggle on his body.